At night, everybody go to the clubhouse, I'd have like half a lager and be leathered. You know, it'd be like a fight going on over there, someone's getting off with someone over there. Just a bit of carnage. You know?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another Mac Chat. This week I caught up with Neil Hodgson. We talked about all things MotoGP, why Marquez is so good, who the worst MotoGP rider is to interview, Hodgie's best year of racing, his worst year of racing, how he managed to ruin my Christmas once, and why he drives around in a beat-up Ford Fiesta. I apologise in advance for some of the video quality. Just bear with it because it does drop out at some points, but it comes back. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm not bad.
Can you sit a bit closer to the camera?
I in my camera here. I look great.
You alright?
I always feel for you when we're sat at home watching MotoGP races and there's endless amounts of MotoGP riders that won't give you an interview or have someone, they won't even tell you that they're not going to do an interview. There's someone in front of them that says they're not doing one. Who's the worst person for that and who's the hardest to interview?
The worst probably Rins is one of the worst.
Really?
What's happened with Rins is there's been so many times over the weekend I've gone on a Thursday to ask their PR people, you know, will Alex talk to me on the grid? Oh, we'll see. I think so. I think he'll talk this weekend. Oh, good, right, good. That'd be really good. And then they go, come and see me on Saturday, PR guy. So you can see the PR guy. I think he will. Yeah, I think he will. Come and see me Sunday morning. Bear in mind, just that in itself, you know how big the paddock is. So it's me messing around, going off wandering, trying to find the PR guy and being messed about. And then you see him Sunday morning. Yeah, I think he will. Just try him on the grid. I'm pretty sure he will. So you've done all that. So you've done the messing around, and then you walk up to him on the grid, and they're surrounded by the other PR people, and they're pushing you away. And you're just like, come on. Me and Gareth, we always laugh. We call them anti-PR. Like the PR person is to get PR for the team, not push it away.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like hey, this is Neil Hodgson on the grid for my little website.
Yeah.
You know, this is British TV. There's hundreds of thousands of people watching it, so that's frustrating. I know you thought I was going to say Andrea Iannone, didn't you? I
did. Yeah.
Iannone, actually, I spoke to him on the grid, and I wouldn't say one of the good ones because he definitely isn't, but I have spoken to him on the grid. He has allowed me to ask him a question on the grid. Ooh, you know.
And then,
do you know what I've said before? I'm so jealous of Wade. I watched James do BSB, and James smashes it all the time. Anyway, James is James anyway, isn't it? You know, as you know. But like, he just looks like he has so much fun on his grid walks because people are wanting to talk to the British cameras to try and get a bit of coverage for the sponsors.
BSB's like, because when I raced in GPs and I came back to BSB, it's more like when you first start racing and it's just lads on bikes having fun, enjoying riding their bikes. When you get to MotoGP, well, what I experienced was there's so much money involved and so many people with really well-paid jobs that suddenly it's all about money and people making sure they're doing the right thing. Whereas BSB, it's just lads riding bikes and James Whittam's another lad.
Yeah, no one's having fun. GPs is like no one's having fun.
Yeah.
It is like, imagine a real serious office job and you'd walk into an office and it was silent and everybody's like, look at you as you open the door. That's MotoGP. Yeah. It really is, isn't it? It's bloody intense.
Yeah.
You know, people are there to do a job. I'm not saying they're not at BSB, but BSB's always had that. Well, there's different levels at BSB. Basically, if you're in that MotoGP paddock, you're a pro bike racer.
Yeah.
It's your job to race fast. Where in BSB, obviously there's lots of pro bike racers there, but there's also lots of amateurs trying to break it into the pro ranks.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's true.
I like that. What I loved about BSB, I loved what happens at night. Now I've been in for a long time, I don't know if it's still like that, but the atmosphere at night was, you know, young lads on the scooters messing around, like riding sisters, you know, all that sort. You know, it was like always a good laugh. Where most GP's not like that at all.
It's still like that now. There's no other BSB racers that I don't get on with. There's no one that I wouldn't stop and say hello to and talk. Whereas at MotoGP, there's a lot of blanking people you don't like, and yeah. And now MotoGP obviously is dominated by Marquez. Who do you think is going to be the next person that can take it to Marquez for a season?
Well, you'd have to say Quartararo. Obviously, what he did last year was bloody impressive, wasn't it? And this year, you could only see him getting better. And then, obviously, the following year, 2021, he's going to be in the main team, which you would assume is only going to help him, not work against it. But as you know, it doesn't always work like that.
No.
You know? And as the underdog coming in, not a lot of pressure on him, that was one thing. It's another thing when you are expected. Where if he finishes fifth, like this year, if he starts finishing fifths and sixths most weekends, we'd all be going,
yeah,
head's gone. You know, so, and pressure comes with that. So, you know, so I'd say him. Apart from him, I'm having to look. I can't. Any of the old guards aren't going to beat him.
Yeah.
And when I say old guards, I even think like I like Jack Miller, as you know, but I can't see Jack Miller beating him. Dovi ain't going to beat him. Dovi will beat him in the race, but overall, you know, Rossi going to overall. I can't see Vinales overall. You know, so you have to look then at the lower classes going. You know, is Jorge Martin going to be a sensation when he gets into MotoGP?
Yeah.
Who's the next big thing, you know?
Sometimes I think for now, the people that are already racing Marquez, it has to come from when you're younger, learning all these skills.
Yeah.
Like now, when I watch kids doing mini moto racing and stuff, they're all getting their elbow down and dangling their legs and stuff, and no one did that when I was racing mini motos. And it's like you learn those skills earlier, and then you can build on those and make them better. Whereas now, trying to teach my dad to get his elbow down is never going to happen.
Yeah, or me. Like I was saying, I've got elbow signers on my new RST suits, and they will say virgin till the day we can't sell the feet. Don't tell them.
And why do you think Marquez is so special? Where does that come from?
Well, it's like watching. I was talking to Victoria, my girlfriend, about this the other night. Obviously, it's fun in the Hodgson household. They explained to Victoria, who's got no interest in bikes,
at all,
about Marquez. We were watching the Michael Jordan Netflix documentary, which you recommended, actually.
Yeah.
What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
Worth watching.
Brilliant. Obviously, you watch The Last Dance, and Michael Jordan is a bloody machine, isn't he? He's a winning machine. He's just got it, that desire, hunger, and all that lot. And I was trying to explain to Victoria, I went, do you know what? He reminds me of Marc Marquez. Just everything about him is like Marc Marquez. Like, because he was a bit of a smiling assassin anyway. You know, he seemed like a smiley character, good with the press. But what Marquez has got, he's got this ridiculous burning desire to be the fastest, but not just the fastest on Sunday, it's the fastest on every lap. So in free practice one, when he goes out, he's a machine. In the middle of a weekend and it starts to rain and people are thinking, oh, shall we go out on wets or shall we wait and see what anybody else does? Marquez will think, I'm going to go out on wets now and I'm just going to smash everybody. But it's obvious this burning desire backed up with ridiculous talent. You know, got this, you know, he's evolved this riding style that only he can do, so he can save all, he can push the front end basically. He's taught himself that, and like you just said, young kids are going to have to learn how to do that. He's fearless, and you could say, oh, well, all bike races are brave, but Marquez is ridiculously fearless. I've never seen anyone as fearless. So I've never seen anyone with this incredible talent, you know, like technically. I've never seen anyone as fearless. I've never seen anyone with as much burning desire. And I've said this before, if you were to design a robot to be the best motorcycle racer, all the attributes you'd put into it, that's what Marquez has got. Like you heard Santi Hernandez, his crew chief, say, oh my God, when I worked with him the first time, I couldn't believe his level of information. So he's really intelligent. So, you know, he's got all these layers. And, you know, I'll be in the pub and somebody will go, don't rate Marquez. And I'll go, oh, right, okay, you don't rate him. No. He's just what you can see, he uses all the traction control, and he's just crazy. And you think, God, how disrespectful. Like, one, he probably has the least amount of traction control, and two, he's not crazy. He's incredibly intelligent.
If you put him...
it's a long answer, sorry, but it's...
No, it's fine. If you put him on a bike with no traction control and everyone else had no traction control, he would still be the fastest. It's not... He's just riding what he's given.
He'd be further ahead.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how we see it. It's
yeah.
like Stoner is the same, though. People said the same about Stoner, and Stoner was one of the riders with the least amount of traction because he hated it.
And Marc Marquez spends hours training, and I'm sure he's got some really well-paid professional people that look after him. When you were younger, you went for a training camp with my dad. What was that like?
Oh my God, it was bizarre. What's funny is, at the time I was 20 years old, and I'd always been fit at school, you know, sport billy, did everything, and I thought I looked after myself, but I really didn't have a clue, and I didn't realise to be a professional athlete what it took. And your dad kindly invited me up to your house. God, you was how old at the time? Like,
what year was it?
It was the winter of '94.
Well, I was born in '93, so yeah,
right,
just coming up to 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you had that little thing, that little drum thing.
Do you want to tell everyone about how you ruined you made my Christmas. You ruined it for Mum and Dad.
Oh yeah, go on, tell the story.
Well, I don't really know what happened. You went...
Yeah, it's like the week, 10 days before Christmas, and I was sleeping in the downstairs. Was it a bungalow you lived in?
No, there was a downstairs, but it was 2 stories. There was a downstairs bedroom there.
Yeah, and you came into the bedroom, and I think I just opened the cupboard and all your Christmas presents. Yeah, that didn't go down too well, did it? But so anyway. So your dad invited me up, and I genuinely thought this, you'll love this. I thought, well, I'm fit, so I'll smoke, Neil. Whatever we do. I genuinely did, because I just didn't know, though. That's, you know, like, so ignorant. And your dad absolutely tortured me. And I couldn't believe it, because, like, back then, like when I was 20, I'd lie in bed till 9:30 every morning. And at your dad's house, we got up at, I think it was about 5:30, and we went out at 6 every morning, and it was December in Scotland, ice on the road, freezing cold, pitch black, and we'd like run for an hour, and he just destroyed me. Then we'd come back home, you'd be crying, or you'd poop yourself, but you know what I mean, it's usual, just being really annoying.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, not much has changed. And then then we'd like sit around and chill, and then we'd do another, like we'd go to the gym or we'd go mountain biking. But I'll never forget, your dad didn't eat much. Like at the time, because I think I was still, you know, at that age you eat a lot.
Yeah.
I remember always being hungry. I never said anything to him, but I was starving. I was like, because I was burning so many calories I'd never burned before. But it was the crossroads in my career, and it was one of them. Like, shit, is this what you have to do? And from that point on, I became obsessive, because it would have worked either way. It could have make or break you, you know.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that, but I became obsessed with it. But a lot of it was down to your dad, because he showed me the way with it.
Welcome to my childhood. That was my childhood.
Oh, I can imagine. We'd go running, and then we'd like do a sprint back, get to the garage. It's freezing, like you can imagine how cold it was, like drizzling. And then he'd open the garage door, and he had a beautiful NSX Honda, and it was like my dream car. Like I'd got like a $2,000 car at the time, still do. And we'd do press ups in front of the car, and I remember him like saying, like, you can have that, like, because you know, your dad would just say, like a man of few words, but what he said was so, you know, like, inspiration. And I remember that motivation, doing sit-ups and press-ups in front of it, so. And
then years later, you could have that car, but you've still got the $2,000 car.
Yeah, love the $2,000 car.
I love your $2,000 car.
Just so you know.
So that was a turning point. What after that was your hardest year of racing?
Well, the hardest years, as you know better than anyone, are the bad ones. So my hardest year would be 2004, because I went to MotoGP, confident, genuinely ready to have a go at it. Let's have a go at MotoGP on this Ducati. And I thought in my first year I'd do similar to what Colin Edwards had done. So I'd be 12th, 10th, 9th, 13th, and then trying the following year get yourself, you know, like you do, you work your way up. But,
yeah.
I was just unlucky. I joined the dancing Ducati team, and they lost their main sponsor before the season started. So no budget. I don't think the team was one of the best anyway, even if it had budget. But without budget, it was just a mess, you know. So to keep your motivation's the wrong word, 'cause you're always motivated, but your pride, to be in a third, battling, you know, well out of the top 10, out of the top 15 some days. You know, I had some good rides on it still, you know, but in general it was just horrible. And you know, we've talked about it, you know, the psychology of racing. God, when it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just hate it. You hate yourself. You hate your life. It doesn't go away. You go home, you feel crap.
It's not just, you think, oh, you just have a bad race, you don't enjoy that 40 minutes, but it's not. It's your entire year. It's just a drain. Everything's hard. Training becomes hard. When you're winning, you want to get up and train and do all this stuff, but they're the hard years but the hard years make you as well, because they're the ones where you dig in. And then my best years have always been the year after my hardest years. Yeah. Another difficult year was when you went to Moto America.
Yeah.
What was that like, racing in America?
Do you know what? I really enjoyed it. I've been asked this question quite a bit. I think everyone's surprised with my answer, because I really enjoyed it. It didn't go according to plan results-wise, but it wasn't bad. Again, I'm not you know what I'm like. I'm pretty straight. Like, I won't go, oh no, you know, I was so unlucky because, and like make a bullshit story up. But the year I moved out there, they brought out the new GSXR 1000, and it was just 2005. Troy Corsa dominated the World Superbike on it, and Matt Maladian and Spees got them. And I turned up at my first test, was under the lap record, never seen the track before, and literally I was like, I will be the American Superbike champion. Like, I didn't say it, but in my head I'm like,
yeah,
I've got these covered. Like, under the lap record, first time on like this quirky little track, went to the next track, under the lap record. But this was pre-season. And then we turned up for the first races, and Maladian and Speed were 2 seconds a lap quicker. And I just couldn't do it. The bike couldn't do it. I was quicker than a teammate, and I was quicker than the lap records everywhere I went. And it was so frustrating, because it then looked like I had a mediocre year. And I didn't, you know, I rode the wheels off the bike. I rode as well as I'd ridden. But I also, at the time, thought, shit, I can't believe how good Maladian and Spees are. And then Spees got better. And I'm watching, I've seen Spees do things on a bike that I've not seen the riders do. He was a little bit like a Marquez. He'd go out first. His second flying lap was under the previous lap record, and I'd watch him, and he was only a young kid then, and no one really heard anything about him. I'm like, God, this kid's got talent.
When he came to World Superbike, I just remember being fascinated how quick he could get under a lap record. It's normally you learn a track, it takes you a session to figure out where it's going, and then you build on that. But being under the lap record straight away just is mind blowing. There's not many riders can do that.
Yeah, in that first year, he would FP1. When he was doing World Superbikes, he'd be P1. Yeah.
What was your favourite year racing?
Favourite year? You'd think I'd say probably 2000 or 2003. But the title, especially the world title in 2003, because I won all the races at the beginning of the season, then I remember having a Alvaro Bautista moment where I thought, shit, I've got like a massive lead here, and then I crashed at one of the races, and Zaus won that race, and then he won the next race, and I remember thinking, am I going to be known as the man who like choked off the scale?
Yeah.
Then I rode tight. You know what that's like when you're like riding, trying not to crash, you just ride slow. So I didn't really enjoy a lot of it. I enjoyed winning the world title. I enjoyed winning the WSBK championship. But I'd say my best year was probably 1992. So I started racing in 1990, and I won the British Championship in 92, the 125cc British Championship. And just going back to what we said earlier about the BSB paddock, it was the Super Cup days, early 90s. You raced bloody competitive, but you played hard. So like, I had a gang of mates that were messing about on the scooter. At night, everybody go to the clubhouse, I'd have like half a lager and be leathered. You know, it'd be like a fight going on over there. Someone's getting after someone over there. Just a bit of carnage. You know?
Yeah.
And I was in the thick of it. And that was racing at its best. So much fun. And unfortunately then what happened is, because I won the championship, I then did Grand Prix racing the next year. And just like we were saying, the fun element gets pushed a little bit out of it, and the serious element comes in, and you never get it back. You know, I then do another 15 years where I enjoyed a lot of my racing, but a lot of it is really stressful.
Because I've been around you a lot where people have asked you, "Oh, you must miss it. You must want to get back." But it always makes me laugh when you answer the question.
Yeah, I'm like, no. No, I bet you do. I bet you want to be upset. I'm like, no. I started racing when I was 8. I retired when I was 36. And every one of those years was stressful. People don't realise how hard racing is. You know, like the good part of you can say, I was living the dream, it's amazing, I was paid to race bikes and it was great. That is all true. But also there is a massive element of stress and pressure, and it's hard and it's dangerous. And I'm not saying poor bike racers, because poor guy who works in a factory and hates his job. You know what I mean? Like, I was a builder when I left school, and actually I quite enjoyed it, but that's the story. But it's bloody hard. It's really, really hard. So it's I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
And I love my job now, as you know. I love working for BT Sport. It's brilliant. I'm so lucky to land a drag at my feet.
Yeah. What will happen with BT Sport? Is that going to carry on as normal?
This year?
Yeah, if MotoGP starts again, what will you do?
Yeah, well, the calendar's supposed to come out today.
Oh, really?
So I'm told, my inside information, but it probably won't come out now. But it's supposed to come out today, and there's supposed to be between 12 and 17 rounds, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And we won't go, we'll do it remotely, because obviously they're trying to keep the numbers down in the paddock. So we'll do it either from the studios obviously at BT or maybe somewhere else, and we'll just create a studio and still cover it. We'll cover it really well. We'll still do, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the commentary.
Cool.
So you won't miss any of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I look forward to it. Hopefully it's not long now.
No, it's July the 19th is the first race
Yeah.
at Jerez. So
not long at all.
Yeah. No, just over a month ago, wasn't it? So, but because it's come off I think if coronavirus had happened 3/4 of the way through the year, everybody would have gone, oh, well, that's the end of the season. But it's obviously, it came at the start of the season, didn't it? So you come off a long period of winter, and now everyone's just gagging for it, aren't they? Just want to get some racing.
I think the first race on BSB and MotoGP is just going to be chaos.
Carnage.
Yeah, it's too much adrenaline been stored up for too long a time.
Yeah. No, it's true. You're right. There'll be carnage, and there'll be a lot of people that the rides that are available that aren't sorted out. Certainly in GP, those first 2 or 3 rounds are going to be pivotal on what happens the next 2 years of your career.
Yeah.
2-year contracts. So, God, there'll be some riders riding over the limit, won't there? Be entertaining.
It'll be good. All right, thanks very much, Hodgie. Appreciate that. I know you're a busy man. Yeah.
Really busy, man. Really busy.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, then, dude.
All right, cheers, Hodgie. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the catch up with Hodgie there. He's always good fun to talk to. I'll be back next week with another interview, and in the meantime, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you want to see more of Neil Hodgson, he's also got a podcast out with him and Gavin Emmett called Gas It Out, so that's very much worth a listen to as well. I'll go back to recording some Mad Marc footage to keep me, my dad and my brother entertained. Definitely not my mum entertained, she's not enjoying it as much as we are, but anyway, can't win them all. And I'll be back next week with another interview. Bye for now.